Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and being a producer of Wrestle Massacre as well as Inside Movies Galore, I am David Strege, and welcome to Delusions of Grandeur. Enjoy the reviews. I certainly did.
I'm setting the example. And what I've done is going to be puzzled over and studied and followed forever.
Yeah. Delusions of grandeur. You're no messiah. You're a movie of the week. You're a fucking t-shirt at best.
Okay, Dave, that's it. Screw you and your college flunkies. I've had enough of this from you and from everyone else. I know what you guys are trying to do. Break me down, drive me out of the force. Well, it's going to take a hell of a lot more than a lame prank like this to get Curtis Mooney to throw in his badge, so fuck you. Over.
Did you miss me? I guess not.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Delusions of Grandeur, where I go on an episode of What's in My Room. It's basically what tells you what I picked up over the past months or so, and I have quite a stack to get through. So let us begin. So the first thing I wanted to show you is this Damage-In trilogy box set. Look at this beautiful art, and it shows up with this there's a really cool book with all kinds of artwork and history on some of these. Now, some time ago I actually showed that I picked up the trilogy on DVD, so I was kind of stoked at getting this one, because it kind of goes with my Arrow box sets or whatnot, and this is art that's interchangeable. As you can see, it comes with some lobby cards, things of that nature. Let's see what this one comes with. Like a copy of the poster work at that point in time, and somebody actually and this first one, I guess it comes with the and then I guess there's a little book here too. Oh, this is a poster. Comes with a poster. Let's see if I can take and pull this out real quick. This is kind of neat. Alright, so on one side we've got that, which is kind of the box set, and then this is the original poster that came out in Japan at the time for Damage-In. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of cool to have in the box set. So let me put this away. It's very intricate to put this stuff away because it is so easy to rip or something of that nature. And Amazon, stupid fucks, they didn't have it like that. This, it was in shrink wrap, and they had it like this. Like they had sloppily put it together. So that's how Amazon works. They don't really give a fuck. But anyways, that is the first item that I thought I'd show you. Next, this is what is called the semi-complete Pirromount Pictures Productions package. And in here, I ended up going through ParamountPictures.com and basically getting all of them signed, because I actually asked him, the director, to sign them. And the director is Mark Pirromount. And this is the first film, I guess. This is the 25th anniversary DVD of A Polish Vampire in Burbank. He wrote on here, "David, thanks for your support." And let's see. Being a vampire isn't easy, especially if you're a shy vampire like Dupa. Dupa lives with his father and sister in an old Gothic castle tucked away in the hills of Burbank. For years, he'd been content sitting at home watching television while his family went out for nightly meals. On their return, they would bring him leftover blood in a Ziploc baggie, which he would drink through a straw. One night, his father shouts out that he's been the blood winner long enough and sends a reluctant Dupa out on a quest for his own blood meals. However, when he finds his first victim, he falls for her and can't get up the nerve to go all the way. It soon becomes quite evident that Dupa is no Bela Lugosi. So, the film stars Mark Pirromount and Laurie Sutton in A Polish Vampire in Burbank. Next is a copy of Curse of the Queerwolf. Variety said it was an extremely funny, wide-ranging horror satire. Fangoria said it was one of the best horror spoofs to come along. On here, he said, "David, always check the groin." And here's a tagline of "Beware the moon, sweetie." From the creator of A Polish Vampire in Burbank comes this acclaimed spoof of the Universal Wolfman movies. It's the hilarious romp of Lawrence Smallbutt and his friend Richard Cheese, who like to frequent seedy LA night spots in search of loose women. One night, they encounter a couple of women who are a bit more mysterious than the usual ladies they've picked up before. It seems that one of the women isn't a woman at all, but a dreaded lycanthrope, one who takes on women's qualities during the light of the full moon. Once Larry gets bitten by this creature, he becomes next in the bloodline of queerwolves, and will transfer himself during the next full moon. Fangoria says Queerwolf is a howl. So here I have Curse of the Queerwolf, which is supposedly a somewhat, sequel to A Vampire in Burbank. I also picked up the one that he is more known for. And on this is actually the Vinegar Syndrome combo of Death Row Game Show. It has a tagline of "Come on down, we want you to die laughing," and he wrote on the side here, "Stay out of jeopardy, David." Chuck Toden hosts the most controversial show on TV, Live or Die, where death row inmates compete against each other for a chance to beat the executioner. However, when he accidentally kills a mob boss of the most feared mafia in the city, a hitman tries to put an end to him and his show once and for all. As a battle of wits and survival ensues, Chuck is forced to engage in the very tactics he uses on his contestants, or die trying. From acclaimed independent filmmaker Mark Pirromount, Death Row Game Show is a playful assault against good taste, featuring outrageous kills and non-stop screwball comedy. Vinegar Syndrome is proud to present this this underseen piece of late 80s camp, newly restored in 2K and on Blu-ray for the first time. So, here I have Death Row Game Show. And, yeah, the film stars John McCafferty, Robin Blythe, Darwin Carson, Bino, and Deborah Lamb. Next, I have a movie called Colorblinded. It is from Pirromount Pictures, part of that semi-complete. It says, David, know your colors on the side there. Signed by Mark. Here is the tagline. Yesterday she was a black beauty. Today she's a blonde bombshell. Melanie is having one serious change of life. It stars Danny Leone, Virda Bridges, Luke Vitale, Luella Hill. Luella Hill, I believe, is from Death Row Game Show. Ernst Kearney and Tyrone Duboisi. Melanie Wells, played by Luella Hill, a young, attractive black girl, has been seen Caucasian hairstylist Dave, Luke Vitale, for 6 months, but he's never said he loves her, and he's never taken her home to meet his parents. Could it be a racial thing? She goes to bed one night with that question on her mind, and wakes up the next morning as a beautiful blonde babe. When she goes to show Dave what happened, he flirts with her, not recognizing who she is. This infuriates her, and she decides to continue seeing him without telling him who she really is. After the initial shock wears off, Melanie's attitude changes as she starts basking in the new attention she's getting as a white woman, until she completely loses sight of everything important to her. Winner of 3 awards, including B-Movie Award for Best Supporting Actress, Virda Bridges. Winner of Best Picture at Agas Film Award. Winner of Best Actress, Virda Bridges B-Movie Awards. And winner of Best Picture Omni Intermedia Award. So, here I have Colorblinded. Next, I have Nudist Colony of the Dead. On this one, he said, David, keep singing. It says, not your typical horror comedy zombie romance musical. Mark Pirromount just may be the funniest guy in the independent low-budget film industry, says Film Threat. Horror Watch said, brilliant and hilarious. Blood and Sleaze said, check any intellectual criticism at the door and have a good time. So, working with Artistic License Inc. in cooperation with Pirromount Films, a group of nudists who are dedicated to their in the buff lifestyle are forced by local religious fanatics to close their camp. Rather than succumb to the churchgoers' pressure, the nudists commit a ritualistic mass suicide. but not before vowing to return one day to avenge their fate upon the Holy Rollers. After the camp closure, the former nudist colony is converted into a religious retreat area for not-so-religious teenagers. When the kids pay a visit, the nudist zombies seek their revenge. This campy, creepy comedy horror film is filled with a lively, upbeat musical score along the lines of Little Shop of Horrors and Michael Jackson's Thriller. And now with this new remastering, you can actually see what's going on in a version that has never been available before. The non-stop rights and laughs make this a whole nudist colony full of fun. So here I have Nudist Colony of the Dead. Next, I have Rectuma, which out of all of these, I have so far seen Death Row Game Show, Rectuma, and the next one that I'll be talking about. So this one is called Rectuma. The terror lurking behind you could be your own behind, is the tagline. And it stars Bill Devlin, Danny Leone, Gene Black, Alex W. Chen, Jim Rainey, Tyrone Duboisi, David Chan, featuring Rachel Morihiro and Hiromi Nishiyama as Hai and Ni. The touching story of an unfaithful life, her lover, and the huge ass that tore them apart. Get ready for one wild ride that you will never forget. After getting infected by a rare butt-humping bullfrog, Waldo's ass breaks away and begins a destructive rampage throughout Los Angeles. As the butt's metabolism races, it becomes larger and larger, swallowing up citizens left and right. Bizarre, offbeat, and refreshingly original, Rectuma has all the unusual comedy elements that have become a trademark of Pirromount films. Rectuma is nothing short of a crack-up. It's got TV spots, theatrical trailer, world premiere, music recording session, director's commentary, and more. So next I have The God Complex. How can it be intelligent design when the designer lacks intelligence? And on this one he says, to David, God be less. So this one is called The God Complex, and it stars Gus Alexander, Dennis Kennard, Lauren Baldwin, Ted Nicholson, Mary Moorfield, Kim Thomason, Jed Rowan, Bill Devlin, Danny Leone, Susanna Griffith, Ron Curtis. And it has a tagline of, you will believe a fat man in a bowling shirt can fly. Evidently, this is the official selection of 10 prestigious film festivals. Oh, it's the official rejection of 10 prestigious film festivals. Meet Almighty God, or as he's known to his friends, Alan Marty God. He's short, bald, overweight, insecure, belligerent, jealous, homicidal, misogynistic, sadistic, and vengeful. But he loves you. From his control room in the sky, he and his girlfriend Barb watch over the world's inhabitants on an infinite number of television monitors. And what he doesn't watch, he TiVos. Follow them on a spiritual journey as you rediscover many of the biblical tales you were forced to swallow when you were a child, which no doubt screwed you up through your formative years until you finally reached the age of reason and discovered rough sex. You'll see Adam and Pete and Eve, God's first coupling, Abraham and Isaac, the first recorded case of child abuse, Moses, the burning bush, and God's 12036 commandments, Noah and his wife Yesa, the tormented and tortured Job, the Virgin Mary, first victim of statutory rape, the accidental pregnancy that resulted in the birth of God's unwanted bastard son, Jesus, and Mary's lawsuit against God in the deity's court. Banned in 10 film festivals, the God Complex presents the most popular stories of the Bible as you've never imagined them, and illustrates once and for all what happens when too much power is in the hands of someone with too little brains. Grab your rosaries, call your rabbi, or get ready to rush to confession. This is not your father's greatest story ever told. So, here I have the God Complex. Next, I have Rage of Innocence. On here, he said, David, fear the young'uns. And it's got a tagline of, he found the woman of his dreams, but her daughter became his worst nightmare. Something quite different from Pirromount Pictures. Some teens will go to any extremes to avoid being disturbed. For Raven, being disturbed just comes naturally. When middle school teacher Vincent Manson, played by John McCafferty, meets another teacher, Louise Sutton, played by Tammy Klein, at his school, he thinks he may have found the love of his life. That is until he meets her 15-year-old daughter, Raven, played by Steph Dawson. Raven has a powerful distrust of men and immediately objects to her mother's new relationship. At first, Raven warns Vincent to stay away from her mother, but when he refuses to back away, she piles one lie upon another, resulting in not only Vincent getting suspended from his teaching job, but also jeopardizing his very freedom as she accuses him of raping and sodomizing her. Raven's accusations, with proof to back it up, turn into a deadly game that not only threatens his life, but also the life of his 13-year-old daughter, Sharon, played by Chelsea Cook. Rage of Innocence shows in a very unnerving way just how vulnerable a man can be when piled against an adolescent sociopath with a deadly agenda. The film stars Steph Dawson, John McCafferty, Tammy Klein, Chelsea Cook, Keishan Giles, Douglas McPherson, Lauren Baldwin, and Bill Devlin. Also directed by Mark Pirrot. So this is one of his latest films, and on this one he said, David, beware those older actresses. And this one is called Celluloid Soul. It says, life is temporary, but movies are forever. Love at the speed of 24 frames per second. Monty, played by Dennis Kennard, is a suicidal writer who becomes obsessed with Ida Beswick, played by Lauren Baldwin, an actress from a few 1930s B-movies. So obsessed that he tracks down as much information about her as he can. Much to his surprise, he discovers that she is still alive today, and becomes so intrigued with her that he writes a screenplay based on her failed career. Eventually they meet, and his friends believe that he is losing his mind when he claims that she showed up on his doorstep looking exactly like she did in the movies she made over 7 decades ago, complete with black and white scratches virtually running through her. His psychiatrist, Judy Tenuta, tries to convince him that Ida is a fragment of his imagination and that there is no way that this unknown actress exists today. What follows is one twist after another as Monty struggles with his sanity. Celluloid Soul is a funny, touching fantasy that shows us how movies that may have been made decades ago can affect our lives generations later. So here I have Celluloid Soul, which stars Dennis Kennard, Lauren Baldwin, Bill Devlin, Aziz Aram, Annie DiVenzio, and Judy Tenuta. Also directed by Mark Pirromount. Now I'll show you my Goodwill. I actually have, let's see. I have a couple of films here that showed up more of William X. Lee's. And here I have King Killer, which is also 3 Knee Deep. Put out by Bayview Entertainment's Widowmaker horror series. And it basically says the same thing that is said on Knee Deep. 6 years ago, Jamaican criminal mastermind Ghost, played by William Lee, hid 1 ton of cocaine in an abandoned warehouse. No one knows the location of the drugs except his violent sidekick and his beautiful but deadly girlfriend. Instead of giving up the stash to the cops of the rival gang, Ghost takes his secret to prison. After he is kidnapped by Cole, Bill Caruna, or played by Bill Caruna, a black box covert operative, he escapes with the help of an FBI agent, played by Angela Williams. Now freed from his imprisonment, Ghost's only goal is to get the cocaine, sell it, and disappear into a life of luxury. But his actions are being closely watched by his rivals in the drug trade. The DEA, the Russian mob, and now everyone is on the trail to the hidden cash. When you're in this deep, it's hell to get out. Written and directed by William X. Lee of Gangsters Incorporated. King Killer. I have here. Okay. Next, I have a film. Also put out by Bayview Entertainment's Widowmaker series. This is called Kill Every Last One. When demons rise, somebody's got to take them down. And originally this was called Demons Rise. It stars E.J. Toxley, Becca Moore, Sylvester Person, William Lee, Harlow Keith, Hermione Gell, Lonnie Gary, and Kyle Rush, played by E.J. Toxie, is a professional thief hired by a mysterious man known as Dr. Montorio, played by Harlow Keith. The scene of the crime is the Musical Art Museum in South Africa. The prize? A mysterious text known as the Liber Malorum, a book shrouded in secrecy and legend that is suspected of being able to turn the dead into supernatural killing machines. When the heist goes awry, Montorio gets away with the book, and Kyle is left with regrets and a vendetta. Get the book. Get revenge. In a bizarre twist, Kyle is thrown into the mix with a martial arts expert and former covert operative named Matthias Locke, played by William Lee, who is so troubled by his past that he has given up all violence and converted to Buddhism. When the book falls into the hands of Kyle and Matthias, Montorio reappears with the Mandrakes, a band of half-dead killers. The stage is now set for an epic around-the-world chase that can either save or destroy the planet. Written and directed by William X. Lee of Black Mamba. Next, I have a film called The Goocher. This is also directed by William Lee. Who or what is the Goocher? The legend began as a Native American folktale warning of an evil spirit that never dies. The scientific research points to possible extraterrestrial origins with unidentifiable energy-filled creatures inhabiting the deep forests of North America. Most recently, conspiracy theorists state the phenomenon is no myth or alien, but rather a genetically advanced being created by a dark government group. Now in the woods of Ohio, locals have reported sightings of a disfigured woman, angry and menacing, but unapproachable. The telltale sign of the Goocher? What is the horrific truth about this being? Distributed by Truth and Found. Or Truth Found. Here is the Goocher. This is also directed by William Lee, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Here are my Goodwill pickups recently. These are two documentaries from New Liberty Videos called Revival of Evil, The Occult in America, and Cult Explosion, Cults Exposed by Those Who Escaped. I'd explain these, but I have others to show you. Still shrink wrapped. You might be able to see the words. But yeah. Next, I have a double feature. This is Maid and Swingers. It says this is the Money Collection. Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn team up with rap superstar Sean Combs and the legendary Peter Falk, played by Columbo, in this wickedly hilarious tale of two hapless guys trying their best to go bad, with criminally comic results. Bobby, played by Farrow, is a would-be boxer who just wants to settle down with his stripper girlfriend, played by Famke Jensen. His lifelong pal, Ricky, played by Vaughn, is a small-time hustler who dreams of being a mafia hotshot. So when mob boss Max, played by Peter Falk, offers the two buddies temporary work as out-of-town mafia muscle, the two friends head for New York, where Ricky's delusions of gangster grandeur plunge them both into the Big Apple's seductive underworld of stretched limos, fast women, and pricey nightclubs. But when Ricky's bumbling attempts to look like a made man ignite a dangerous confrontation with a rival gang lord, it becomes apparent that for these not-so-good fellows, crime definitely doesn't pay. And it could end up costing them big time. And Swingers. Hip and hilarious. Critics and audience alike are raving about this must-see comedy hit. It's to laugh out loud, look at a fun group of friends who spend their days looking for work and their nights in and out of Hollywood's coolest after-hours hangouts when the lovesick Mike, played by Jon Favreau, Rudy, can't seem to shake a relationship rut to show Mike a good time. Oh. His smooth, fast-talking buddy, Trent, played by Vince Vaughn, decides he'll do whatever it takes to show Mike a good time. Whether laughing over martinis in smoky cocktail lounges or searching for beautiful babes on an outrageous road trip to Vegas, these young swingers are determined to rewrite the rules of dating in the 90s. The first, Maid, is directed by Jon Favreau. The second is directed by Doug Liman. So I'm looking forward to checking these out. I haven't quite seen them. Next, I have seen this several times. This is Brendan Fraser's Furry Vengeance. It should be self-explainable. Next, I ended up picking up a film directed by Sidney Pollack called The Firm. It's one with a very young Tom Cruise. Three-time Oscar nominee Tom Cruise delivers the most electrifying performance of his career. In this riveting film based on the international bestseller, Cruise plays Mitch McDear, a brilliant and ambitious Harvard law grad, driven by a fierce desire to bury his working class past, Mitch joins a small, prosperous Memphis firm that affords Mitch and his wife, Jean Triplehorn, an affluent lifestyle beyond their wildest dreams. But when FBI agents confront him with evidence of corruption and murder within the firm, Mitch sets out to find the truth in a deadly crossfire between the FBI, the mob, and a force that will stop at nothing to protect its interests. The Firm. So, here I have The Firm. It's been a while since I've seen it. It was a favorite of my Grandpa Oswald's, so I'll definitely be checking it out. I think I've seen bits and pieces of this movie, but I've never seen it in its full entirety. Finally picked up this one. It's called The Cider House Rules. It stars Michael Caine, and it's adapted from a screenplay by John Irving. Let's see. It is directed by Lasse Hallström. Honored with 2 Academy Awards, Best Supporting Actor Michael Caine and Best Adapted Screenplay John Irving, The Cider House Rules tells a compelling and heartwarming story about how far a young man must travel to find the place where he truly belongs. Homer Wells, played by Tobey Maguire from Pleasantville, The Ice Storm, and Wonder Boys, has lived nearly his entire life within the walls of St. Cloud's Orphanage in rural Maine. Though groomed by its proprietor, Dr. Larch, played by Caine, to be his successor, Homer nonetheless feels the need to strike out on his own and experience the world outside. Then, while working at an apple orchard, Homer falls for the beautiful Candy, played by Charlize Theron, Reindeer Games, and The Devil's Advocate, and learns some powerfully indelible lessons about life, love, and home. Based on John Irving's best-selling American classic, and featuring a sensational all-star cast, including Delroy Lindo and newcomer Erykah Badu, this entertaining motion picture earned raves from critics and moviegoers everywhere. One of the best pictures of the year, apparently, at the time. So here I have The Cider House Rules. Next, I have The Carol Burnett Show, Carol's Favorites. This is a 6-disc set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A 6-disc set of a lot of Carol's favorites from the Carol Burnett Show. This is one of maybe 3 or 4 sets that are a part of a series. Well, they're basically comedy skits, and a lot of the comedy skits were lost, but whatever. I found one of them at Goodwill. I was that was cool. So now I have a little bit of the show. I'll probably hunt down the other two collections, or 3 that I see out there. There are probably 3, because there's one that's called The Lost Episodes, and then there's 2 others, 2 main ones, which I'll probably get in the coming weeks. But hopefully you check these out on your own and see whether you like these films. Let me know down in the comments whether you picked these films up or not, and I'll definitely keep you apprised of what I get in the next coming weeks. So thank you so much. Enjoy. I just enjoy sharing what I pick up to you, and some of them are oddities, and some of them you probably never heard of. So next week I'll definitely have some more lined up in store for you. So thank you so much. Enjoy.
You were good, kid. Real good.
But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best, see?